Hey everyone, so I got the Egg Bite Maker by Dash, a new little toy to play with. I got this the same time as the egg cooker, but I just haven't really gotten around to reviewing it yet. You could do a lot of stuff besides just the egg bites. You could also do like the cheesecakes and flans and different things like that. I'll do the egg bites, and then I'll also do just like a quick one of the quick flan recipes that are in here. Let's go ahead and open this up here. So this is the little cooker here. Got a little clamp on it. You got it that locks it in place. These are little silicone cups. There are 4 of them total, and they hold about an ounce and a half each. I did measure them. So those are what you'll use for your egg bites and everything. And then you got the cooking plate. I don't know if you can really cook anything else on this. I haven't really tried, or I would assume you can though, but I'm not really going to use it for that. Um, Ultimately, it's just for the egg bites here. It's got this little clamp, locks in. Now, there's no timer on this, so you got to kind of just time it yourself and keep track of that, and just check on it here and there to see if they're done. They also give you some cooking times to kind of go by. So I'm going to do just a really simple egg bite. We're going to use 2 eggs, which it says 2 eggs will fill up all 4 bites. So depending on the ingredients you use, you will have a little bit left over, and you can either do some more egg bites or use it for something else. We're going to do 2 eggs. I also have just a little less than a quarter cup of Monterey Jack cheese that I'm going to use, 1 tablespoon of some cottage cheese, and then I have some finely diced tomatoes that I'm going to put in there. I cut them up pretty small. I'm gonna add a couple spoons worth, a couple tablespoons really, and then I also have some fresh basil that I chiffonade, and I'm gonna add some of that, and we'll get that all mixed up. Normally, the egg bites you kind of blend them up and everything. I actually want a little bit more substance to it, so I'm not gonna blend mine up. The cheese and everything's gonna kind of melt into it anyway. The larger tomatoes, I got those kind of aside to do like a little tomato basil topping that I'll do at the end, but just get this all nice and mixed up. All right, start off by putting the water. It says to use one of the silicone cups, one of them full. I just measured it out. It's 1.5 ounces that fills up a cup. So I just remembered that that's what it is, and I'll just use a different measuring cup to put 1.5 ounces each time. So after you do that, we're gonna just do a quick butter spray on each one. They shouldn't really stick too much anyway, but it does recommend to kind of oil them up a little bit. And then I'm actually, instead of having a bunch of spray in there, I'm gonna take a paper towel and just kind of wipe it on each one. This way, there's not a abundance of the spray inside of them. All right, once that's done, we want to spoon this into each cup. You want to fill it about 3/4 of the way so they don't overflow. I want to try to get a little bit of everything in there. I want to make sure there's some of that cheese, some of the basil, some of the tomatoes, and everything. I'm not going to just pour it in. And then you're just going to lay them in the cooker. Once you have them all set, go ahead and close it, and then you'll plug it in. Wait to plug it in until you're ready, unless you want to preheat it. It will heat them up. It'll start heating up right away. There's no button or anything. You're going to give this about 7 to 10 minutes or so. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and make that topping that I was mentioning. I'm going to add some of the fresh basil. I'm going to add some of those larger diced tomatoes. I'm going to add just a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Not too much, just a little bit. And then I'm going to add a little bit of reduced balsamic. And go ahead and give that a good mix. Gives it nice color, it has nice flavor, and it will complement the ingredients that's already in the egg. All All right, it's been about 8 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and check on it. Those look pretty good. Now, what I do like about this egg bite cooker is that that plate on top actually gives it a nice brown color, so I do like that. And you can definitely see that water kind of boiling, simmering there. It hasn't evaporated. It kind of seals it in a little bit. Let it sit there for a minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and take them out. Just gonna just pop them on the plate, just flip them upside down. Oh, it looks like they actually come out pretty easily. Definitely like that it gives that little bit of a sear on the top. You get a little bit of that color. Next, I'm going to go ahead and plate them up. All right, we'll go ahead and put some of that topping up on top. Put as little or as much as you want. Gives it some nice color. I'm actually going to add a little bit more color. I got some basil oil that I made a couple days ago. If you're interested in making basil oil, I do have a video on that. It gives it some nice color, get a little extra flavor out of it. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of that reduced balsamic as well. Goes well with all the ingredients. It's already in the topping, so it's going to go pretty well there. And there we go. So those are our egg bites with the egg bite maker. Next, I'll do a caramel flan. All right, so I'm actually going to take a recipe right out of the book, egg bite caramel custard, aka flan. So we're going to go ahead and get it nice and hot. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of regular granulated sugar. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of water just to get everything nice and wet. And then I'm just going to give just an initial stir. This will be the only time I'm going to stir it. You'll bring this up to a simmer. It's looking pretty good. We're looking for that amber color. All right, after a few minutes of being patient, you're starting to get that amber color to it. We're pretty much just about ready here. There's another technique where you could do this in the microwave. I might do that with a recipe that I'm thinking about doing coming up. I'm thinking about actually doing a flan in the Instant Pot, but I'm going to do something just a little bit different than your traditional flan. I'm going to go ahead and get this turned off at this point because it's looking just about ready here. Looks pretty good. So what we want to do before it hardens is, while it's still hot, we want to get it spooned into the little cups. And it's going to harden pretty quick. Don't worry about it being perfect in the cups. As you cook it, it's going to kind of melt into the flan anyway. And then the beauty of this being sugar and everything for your pan, you can just put some hot water in it, let it sit for a few minutes. It'll kind of dissolve everything. It'll be super easy to clean up. Next, we want to get the custard part ready. So we got 4 egg yolks, large egg yolks that are at room temperature. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon worth of vanilla in here. And then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of sugar. If you like yours to be a little bit sweeter, you can always add just a little bit more sugar to it. Get it nice and stirred up. I also have 1 cup of milk on the stove that's getting steamy. You want to have your milk nice and hot. And then you want to add the milk in very slowly. Kind of temper the eggs. You don't want to put it too quick or you're going to curdle the eggs. You're pretty much going to scramble them. So just do a little bit at a time. You could speed it up just a little bit once you get that initial amount in there. The eggs are slightly heated. The smells are definitely amazing. I love the smell of vanilla. As you can see, I can speed it up there at the end without scrambling the eggs. It looks like I made a little bit of a mess. A little easier if you pour it into like a measuring container that has a little pour spout. And this recipe will actually make, it says 10 custards, so it is more than the initial batch. You can always half it. I'm gonna do part of it in another recipe. Next, we want to go ahead and get them ready in our little cups. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the egg bite cooker now. Let it start heating up. 1.5 ounces of water. Then we're going to go ahead and place it in our cups here. We're going to fill it up most of the way. And then we're going to let this cook 12 to 14 minutes it gives. So it actually took a little closer to the 14-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and open it up, take a look. You want to let them, after you turn it off and unplug it, you want to let it sit for about 2 minutes in here. After the 2 minutes, you want to pull them off, and then you want to let them sit out for about 10 minutes or so to cool off a little bit. All right, after about 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and pop one on the plate. So they come out actually very easily, and they're cute. That's what I can say. They're small. They're what you would call literally a bite. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I hope you liked the review of this. Definitely subscribe, like, comment below.